my girls at? Where my girls at?
Keep on watching while the beat keep knocking.
Where my girls at?
You love the flow, it's the ladies' show.
Where my girls at? Yeah. Where my girls at?
Everybody please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hey Gurus, Katy Perry's boyfriend Orlando Bloom gets caught looking at Kim Kardashian's backside. So, Gurus, how would you feel if you were out in public and your boyfriend, in this case, I believe it's her future husband, is looking at some other woman's backside and enjoying it?
I've been there. It's rude and ghetto.
I mean, I'm a look.
I mean,
I'm looking.
like,
I mean,
okay.
I want to see if it adds up to like all the hype. I don't know, like.
Right? Maybe that's what he was doing. I don't know.
But even if it's Kim Kardashian, you can't get caught looking so blatantly. Like, you have to kind of like do it to wherein they can't say you was looking like that. Like, you have to like glance with it. You know, you gotta like move your head back and glance with it.
Yeah, but your agenda's not that smart.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, the men are not the ones who are supposed to be
Yeah.
giving the advice on this, because they're the ones that always get caught.
Yeah, I don't know what to get caught.
Do it in
Exactly.
such a slick way that we never get caught, so we can't take your advice, Blake. I'm sorry. There's a couple of celebrities that just get that pass: J-Lo, Nicki Minaj, Kim K, Rihanna. Any of them are passing. My man could stare at her booty until
I'm gonna be staring
because
too.
I'm probably staring with them. You know what I mean?
Just the celebs, yep. Not the
Yeah.
random girl down the street. You getting yelled at, but the
Yeah.
celebs, we doing it together.
Party. Can't forget party.
Let's talk about Sean P. Diddy Combs. Now that Diddy has been indicted by the feds, we've all heard about the quote, new book from his children's mother, Kim Porter. The book shot to #1 on Amazon, and the audio book is out as well. Some are saying the audio is AI generated. The children are slamming the book as fake and untrue. Also, we're hearing reports of Diddy not eating while in custody. So the question is, what is he afraid of? And what about his book that is currently at the top of the Amazon charts?
I don't think that's like, first of all, the kids all slammed it as it's all like, lies. And second of all, like, this person took this opportunity to just release this book right after these indictments.
Oh, exactly.
The whole thing sounds very fishy. The woman is not here to defend the book, or and of course he's gonna take an opportunity like that to get. But I don't think a lot of people, like, from what I heard, a lot of people are saying the book was trash and that there was like a lot of obvious lies in it. So I don't know. But as far as Diddy not eating, like, what is he? He thinks he's Gandhi or something? Like, you're gonna start yourself in jail?
He's probably already talking about the politicians and whoever else that was at these parties. Like, he has information.
Oh,
so
for sure.
I think he's not eating because you never know.
Get over here!
Oh, he's afraid.
Who's setting you up?
Something, either that. Is it because they're saying he's on like suicide watch? Is that the connection with him not eating, or he's just afraid? I don't know.
Well, from what is being said is that suicide watch was in the protocol for Diddy because he's so high profile. So it wasn't that he wanted to kill himself, or was there. It was the fact that it was a protocol thing to wherein people who are in that system that have as much celebrity as he has automatically get put on suicide watch.
So I was gonna say, 'cause that sounds kind of, like an oxymoronic. Like, oh, he's on suicide watch and he's afraid to eat. Like, doesn't make sense to me. But if it's just protocol, then maybe he is afraid to eat because he doesn't know I'm with Amanda on that one. Like maybe you don't know what's going on. You're gonna get Jeffrey Epstein in there or something, you know? Well, it's like
Because
what
he did
Amanda was
bad
saying.
things. He did bad things to bad people. He's probably helped people do the same thing to other people. And he has all this information. They say he recorded everything. Imagine what kind of recordings he has where he has to give, explanations for. They said, politicians were connected, high profile musicians and celebrities. Like,
Do you think that's why he wasn't given a bail?
definitely.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it was also because he was threatening and reaching out to potential witnesses. So the reason why the judge chose to do that is because of all the shenanigans Diddy was. Once these indictments became apparent, he started reaching out to potential witnesses and stuff and threatening them. That's what was reported. So the judge was just like, "Nah, we can't give this guy bail, and then he's gonna get out and try to either pay people off or threaten them for whatever it is that he has against them or whatever." Like there's a lot of spin to this. So,
I tell you what though, but around this indictment thing, it's been a bad week. Not only is Diddy indicted, but now you got Mayor Adams, the mayor of New York,
Yeah, see how quick he did
indicted
that?
too.
who didn't
This
see
is
that
bad,
coming?
huh?
Right.
Who didn't see that coming? That man is so off the meter. Like
All the
I've
way
been
off.
saying this since he got elected. I couldn't even believe he got elected, to be honest with you. The man was funny to begin with. Then, like we talked about this before. Didn't he like give a job to his brother or something? And like then he was criticized for that because he wasn't qualified for the job that was given. It was some high profile job. Like the man is he's iffy and this is since 2014 they've been watching him.
Well, yeah, this has been going on ever since he was Brooklyn Borough president.
Right. So why are you waiting till now to throw the indictments at y'all knew this man was crooked for years and years and years. You just letting him pile on before like New York is so weird.
They
like
do. They're so dumb.
Yeah.
So dumb.
It's a obvious situation where they let powerful people get away with a lot of stuff, and they don't start investigating. For example, Jared Kushner got $5 billion from a Saudi country, and ain't nobody said a word about it. But hey, who are we?
But what's his name? The Biden's son, the laptop. That's all they talk about that stupid laptop for so many years. But they're not talking about Jared Kushner and all the money he's made off of the Saudis. And on top of that, like the prince who got killed, or not the prince who killed the reporter. Like they're not talking about that. That was a deal that Biden said he was gonna make right. He was gonna make right by that, and he never even did that. So don't get me started. Don't get me started. All that craziness is just
there was definitely, we'll move on, but there was definitely things wrong at the Justice Department. Gurus, we got some Cardi B news.
I couldn't wait to get here. I can't wait.
Cardi B and Offset divorce may be the messiest yet. Cardi B went on IG Live and aired out Offset in front of millions. At this point, is it okay to say Cardi B's marriage was the biggest mistake of her career?
Absolutely not. You know how much paparazzi, how much attention she's getting because of all this BS with her marriage. That is very calculated. And that, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think she loved that man to her bones. You know what I mean? But I think she also looked at it as an opportunity to, make some money off of it. And now look at it. All the embarrassment this woman has been getting over the years. Like she has been embarrassed. She had kept taking him back. She had kept, accepting his gifts and then getting online and talk about, oh, my baby did this, my baby did that, blah, blah, blah. And then what? you know what I mean, just to do this again. But you know what? At the end of the day, she's on top now. Nobody is riding for Offset. Nobody cares about what Offset.
Nobody ever did. I don't know who he was cheating with. Like, what?
Yeah, not a from the Bronx.
It's a certain caliber of people, and I just feel like,
Yeah, that's a whole nother level of crazy there. Like,
hello, come on, like, why? I'm just like, I can't. It's too
there
much.
was
I
a
mean,
guy who
listen, she
said
got her babies, but
there was a guy online who said, you're lucky she ain't sleep with your best auntie. You're I'm like, he ain't lying. He ain't
I'm
lying.
fine.
It's crazy out here.
Yeah, like seriously. I'm just like, I couldn't believe when I first saw the video that was talking about what she put out there. I was like, I thought that somebody made that up. I'm like, she ain't going there and say that.
He said, and
But
did.
I said, it's no way this is happening. I'm like, there's just all of these different components. I can't. She has 3 beautiful children from this, but unfortunately, it just, yeah, just the way she's been operating, it just seemed like it's gonna be, unfortunately, a cycle. Like, how would she break that for her children so they don't do the same kind of stuff? I just don't see the growth there. Career wise,
Cardi-
from Love and Hip Hop to now is a huge difference, but the mannerisms and all of this other stuff, I'm like, none of that changed.
But you know what? She's still young. Like, we gotta give her some time. Like, she's a young mother still.
How young is she?
She's like 32, maybe. That's still kind of young. But you
It's
coming
young.
from? I mean, not inexcusable for your behavior, young. But I'm just saying she's still kind of young enough to learn and to grow from the experience. Like, you gotta remember, like, when you're caught in the vortex of all the drama, you tend to be stuck, like, mentally in that vortex. Once you're able to get out and break away from all the drama, that's when you start to see things from a different lens. Take off the rose-colored glasses, and then you're like, you know what? That isn't my boy. That's his friend. Like, why am I?
Right.
You know what I mean? You start to, like, calculate things differently. I feel like, listen, there ain't nothing and nobody who can make me hate Cardi. There's nobody. Always riding for Cardi. I don't care. And I'll find a way. I'll find an angle to defend her. So
Look, can I say though, from
no, you can't say nothing.
because you know what, like, it's interesting because I remember going, like, back in the day, there was this type of thing that in entertainment to wherein if you got married, it would kind of mess up your upward situation. Or back in the day for women, if they were to have a child early in their career, that it would some kind of way mess up their upward type of swing. In the context of that, in what they always say, that quote cliche thing, in Cardi B's case, I think that Offset wasn't good for her.
No, he wasn't.
Not good for each other, because we can't even say, like, none of this would have happened.
Yeah, she should have left him a long time ago.
Exactly. So it's like they didn't work for each. I mean, but they weren't. Like, no, he wasn't good for her, but he didn't make the situation better. If it was better, then none of this would be. There would be none of this.
Yeah, I just think that, it was, the way her image was at the time, with her being, just real, authentic, coming up on the internet the way she did. There was no other female rapper who was doing that. Cardi B created her own platform. And I just feel like when she met Offset, and, hey, look, at the end of the day, you really can't blame Cardi too much, because what do young people do sometimes? Sometimes young people, they get married, and they'll think that it's going to last forever. And, this particular thing didn't. However, it's just like it was so obvious to some people that he was holding her career back. And at those times, I think when she could have been working and moving her career forward, she was with Offset.
I don't know. I don't see that. I don't know.
I
I'm gonna
don't
let
see
Marcy talk for her girl, but I just want to say I don't see that anything with her was stopped.
it.
Go ahead, Marcy.
Keep her missing a beat though. Like I'm saying,
Yeah.
she's now hit after hit after hit. I don't see how. Like, granted, it may have soared way more if she had not intertwined with this man or whatever. But I really don't see her missing a beat. She has put out hit after hit after hit. She's had features after features. She hasn't stopped working even while pregnant. And now that this happened, she got more music coming out that kind of relates to what's going on here. So that's just gonna, stir up and get the views and get the numbers. So I really don't see how them getting married did anything in a negative way for Cardi, because at the end of the day, she's still rising. Like she's
I'm
not
gonna say something musically. I'm gonna say something musically that maybe MCs out there might think this is true, and I want to put the question out there so maybe somebody could think it or say it or whatever.
Okay, agree with you.
And look, from a lyrical standpoint, when you talk about the Nas's, when you talk about anybody that's come through, the Nicki Minaj's, the people who are very serious when it comes to their lyrics, and when you talk about lyrical growth, I feel like that's the part where, like, let's be honest, there's a lot of people that could put lyrics on a song, or let's be real, lyrics on some music. However, it's lyricists that really take it to the next level. And I just feel like Cardi B, in that respect, did not take it to the next level yet.
But not because of him. That's a her.
I think it was because of him.
I disagree. I just think you're not a Cardi B fan, and I don't think you really listen to her music, because her music, she's got some bars out there. Like I might be speaking for the female audience, but like I know a lot of her stuff is very relative, and I listen to her religiously, and so I mean maybe as a man you can't relate to like the things that we can relate to, but a lot of her stuff is raunchy and a lot of stuff is crazy, but like she really be resonating with women.
Yeah, definitely. However, resonating with women and resonating with hip hop. Look, all I'm saying is lyrics are lyrics. And I don't think Nicki Minaj is I don't think Nicki Minaj is in that boat. In other words, you can make an excuse for Cardi, but Nicki ain't gonna make that excuse.
I'm not following. Excuse for what?
So I think people out there heard what I said.
No, but I would like to know an excuse for what, because I'm lost.
No, you just made an excuse for Nicki, right? I mean, not Nicki, Cardi B. And you're saying that her music is just as good and just as not.
That's not an
Let me
excuse.
ask you a
That's a
question.
fact.
Do you feel like Cardi B has grown since Red Bars?
Yes, I do think that she talks more about experience, but that was like, hitting them in the pocket, hitting people where it hurt type stuff. Now she starts to talk about stuff more relationships, more growth, more like no, is she like at Jay-Z level where you get to experience different things now at this point? She's obviously still in the gutter. She's in the gutter with this guy. She lives in a lavish house, but she's in the gutter mentally with this situation. So for her to grow, she has to exit stage left first and then start to grow from there, and then start to like Nicki. We can't even compare her to Nicki, because like Nicki's honestly, come on, like she still raps about the same stuff. Like we can't keep giving her all this credit. Like she's gone so far beyond when she really has it. Like let's keep it real.
Well,
I mean, I think it's a Nicki fan against a Barty fan kind of.
Because let me say this, I am a Cardi B fan.
Really?
When Cardi B first came out, I was the one in the interview that said that my favorite artist was Cardi B.
Okay.
So I'm not saying this from a critical standpoint. I'm saying this as an original fan of Cardi B when she put her pen to the paper.
Mm-hmm.
And what made Cardi B so dope to me is not that she was the best rapper. What made her so dope is that she was trying to be the best rapper. Like, she really focused and came from nowhere. And for her to do what she did on that first album was explosive. I feel like in between somewhere from that second to third album, that she stopped putting the pen to the paper. She didn't try to take it to the next level the way she could have. And I feel like if she wasn't with Offset, she would have had somebody else in her ear talking about, nah, that's not good enough. Do it again.
Okay, well, she's not with
That to
Offset now, so
herself.
let's see what happens.
She would have said that to herself. She would have said, nah, I'm scrapping this. We got to do this again.
Well, look, she also was pregnant 3 times in between this. She also had other things to focus on. You know what I mean? So, like, let's see what happens now. Now that Offset, I really think this is it this time, to be honest,
I
because
hope
she's
so.
airing him out. She's airing him out now, whereas she never really did that before.
Yeah,
She was just like, all right, he cheated. That was scuzzy, you know, all of that. But, you know, now she's like, oh, you know, she said it. She was like, you can't hurt me no more. You've done it all. You've done it all. So, like, she's fed up. So let's see if there is growth. I think it's not fair to criticize whether she's grown or not when she was still in that situation with the same person that you think is the factor.
No, it's fair.
Huh?
This is what we do in hip hop. This is fair.
Okay.
You know.
We think about surrender. So often we think about surrender like maybe I need to let go of control. And for some of us, that's true. But I heard God say that don't just make it about control and power. There are some people who need to surrender to peace. Some people who need to surrender to joy. Some people who need to surrender to their healing. Some people who need to surrender to their growth, their change, their transformation. You've been holding yourself hostage to who you used to be. And I hear God saying, but I want to use who you have become. And because you are holding yourself hostage, I need you to surrender to the work that I've done on the inside of you. I need you to surrender that salvation was not just for back then, but surrender had sanctification in mind. The surrender had your righteousness in mind. And so I really do believe that this is going to be the most powerful Woman Evolve experience we've ever had.
Gurus, is it possible that we can change the course of our future because we are still caught up in our past? People say, whatever God has for you, nobody can stop. But can you, as an individual, stop your own blessing or progress because you are not in a position mentally and or physically to move forward and walk it out?
Absolutely. We delay ourselves more than anybody else. And yes, God has a plan for all of us. But if you get in your own way, you either delay it or it gets taken away from you. So
Yep, I agree.
it's
God gives us-
situational.
Mhm. He gives us free will. So, yes, we all have a destiny and a purpose, but it's our job to figure out that destiny and that purpose. And if you stay in a relationship that you know is not good, or you stay in a situation that you know is not good, if you stay in a job that you know it's not good, it is going to hold you back from your purpose or your calling or whatever it is that you need to do to advance.
You know, on a Sunday morning, you know, we get a lot of folks, and this is no harsh criticism to them because, you know, where, you know, they say God's people come together to, you know, as a unit, there's more praises that go up. But I will say that even though some folks jump around and fall out and do all this other stuff, does not mean that when they leave there, they're gonna walk in their purpose.
Right. People do that for sure. I'm glad, you know, I grew up around church.
Todd, for some
Love
reason,
it.
your microphone keeps going in and out.
How about now?
Yeah, all right, you good.
It's better?
Go ahead. Yep.
I was saying I grew up around that, and like the church I'm in, it's not. It was showy.
It's
You
still
don't need
happening.
to do that.
It's
Yeah,
going-
everybody's hearing that?
Y'all hearing that
Yeah.
too, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
going in and out.
I don't know why. I haven't done anything to it. Is this better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let me try and say a few things. Do you hear me now?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Good. Okay. I was saying I grew up around that, like the hooting and hollering, and the church I'm in now, there's none of that, and I love it because that a lot of people were just doing that for show. It's not always real. Some people definitely feel the spirit, but some people just doing it because they can. And yeah, it doesn't mean anything. You come to church don't mean anything. It means absolutely nothing. It's what you're actually doing outside of that.
Yeah, I agree. To piggyback on what Ty is saying, it's about your own personal relationship with the Lord. So nobody can actually say how spiritual or how godly you are. You know, it's your relationship. And so you basing are people more godly because they go to church or because they know the Bible back and front has nothing to do with their genuine heart and their relationship with the Lord.
Yeah, that's a very, very, very big thing. I mean, you know, it's almost like the mentality of I'm gonna jump off this mountain, and God is gonna not allow me to get hurt.
Right.
And when you jump off that mountain, you realize the reality of the situation. Now, we understand that, you know, a lot of times women evolve quicker than men. I just wanted to ask y'all about that, that progress of evolving. What does a woman have to do to evolve in her mind and in her spirit?
Oh, I think it starts with taking all of the negative out of your life. Like you have to first recognize what is negative and what is bringing no growth into your life, growth spiritually, financially, just mentally. Like those things, you have to find a way to separate yourself from them. And then from there,
Cardi B. No, I'm playing. It was a joke.
leave
Where's
my
the joke
girl
thing?
alone.
Kapow. Where's the
leave
joke
my
thing?
girl alone.
Just
I'm
a
not
joke.
playing.
Just a joke. All right. Go ahead.
No, but I mean, yeah, that's what she's doing right now, right? By divorcing this fool is getting the negative out of her life. And therefore she will grow and prosper from there. Hello. Did the church say amen?
Thank you.
Let's see.
I agree. I agree with her, and I also would say it depends on what the woman wants to be. She has to decide what kind of woman she wants to be, where she wants to see herself, and then make the attempts to go about and go in that direction. Because I think first she has to really know where she wants to see herself, because we can't say we want to be somewhere and not have envisioned it. So
Right.
I think that first is having the vision of where you want to go, and then doing the footwork to get there.
Yeah. I think that there was like a song that like Jennings had out where he says in the song, he was like, you can't be a nickel looking for a dime. Like you have to be able to like you have to see where you want to be. You have to be able to manifest it, but also actively work towards it in order to bring in the positive into your life. You can't just be like, okay, I'm a hard 5, but I want somebody who is going to, you know, bring me up above like all this negative and just bring all this positivity. You have to be active in your own growth. You know, you can't just expect it coming from somebody else. So,
Right.
A little girl went missing 24 years ago under frightening circumstances.
Developing tonight, investigators say they believe that Asha Degree was a victim of homicide and that someone covered it up. This is coming straight from the search warrants that investigators say led them to this property in Shelby last week. It outlines also a possible narrative where, for the first time, police say they think someone killed the 9-year-old. Channel 9's Ken Lemon is live for us at the Cleveland County Courthouse. Ken, you have spent hours, days now looking through these documents since you first broke the story, and now 2 people are even listed in all this as possible suspects.
Yeah, and for those people out there who have waited for 2 decades for answers, especially Asha Degree's family, there are some in these search warrants, but certainly not every detail. We now know that investigators believe that Asha Degree was killed after wandering away from her family's home on Valentine's Day.
We're looking for a missing person. Her name's Asha Degree.
Asha Degree was 9 years old when she vanished. Detectives say witnesses told them they saw her pulled into a green car like this. Investigators say she had no contact with her family, no footprints on social media, or listed genealogy profile. And the search warrants say, based on those findings, investigators believe Asha Degree was a victim of homicide with her body concealed.
We need to investigate that.
The warrants point to this moment, 1 year after Asha disappeared, as a key factor. Construction workers in Burke County found trash bags with Asha's clothes inside. They say a hair sample from Asha's undershirt matched the DNA of a 13-year-old daughter of the suspects Roy Lee Dedman and Connie Elliott Dedman. Owners of several properties searched by federal and state agents last week. The warrants say the other DNA found in the bag belongs to a man who was a resident of this rest home in Vail, owned by the Dedmans. Warrants say employees here told investigators they were told that Roy Lee Dedman would send his 16 to 17-year-old daughter to transport patients. The warrants went on to say that due to the age of Dedman's daughters at the time that Asha disappeared, adult assistance from Roy and Connie Dedman would have been necessary in the execution and or concealment of the crime. It's important here we know that no one has been charged. Investigators took DNA from Roy and Connie Dedman. They also took a green car and several other items, including a camera, computers, and phones. Now, a forensics expert that I talked to today say they can get usable DNA from that green car. Live in Shelby, I'm Ken Lemon, Channel 9.
Yeah, I don't think she left her. I read a little on the case, and I don't think she left her home just because, well, I don't think she voluntarily left her home. The way the story goes out, that they didn't have internet or phone at home, so there's no way for her to contact friends to go somewhere. Apparently she was really, really shy. She was scared of dogs, so I don't think she would go out. And the storm, there was no power. They had no power up until
Exactly.
I forgot what time it was. So there was no way for her to contact anyone to leave her home, especially at 9 years old. Where are you going at 9 years old? At four in the morning. So I don't think she left voluntarily. But then again, there was no break-in, there was no signs of a break-in. There was no signs of any type of forced entry.
Let me back up, because you said something interesting. You said that you don't believe that she left her home.
No, I don't believe voluntarily.
Okay, right. So that means you feel like somebody in the home.
At first, this is all speculation.
Right.
Yeah.
We're all speculating, everybody out there.
I'm not a professional at all, but apparently both the parents passed lie detector tests. So my first thing was the parents. Just because the story didn't make sense in the beginning. First, mom said she put them to bed at 8 or 8:30. And then dad said that she was up on the sofa with him until 12:30. I don't know. The story's different depending on what media you read.
Right.
But
okay.
I definitely thought it was the parents at first, but when I found out that they both passed lie detector tests, and here they are 20-something years later still trying to find out what happened, like, I don't think that's something, guilty parents would do. But then again, I don't know. Again, it's all speculation. But yeah,
I think I'm with you on this.
I'm with her too. Like I watch a lot of crime documentaries, and a lot of times when these kids come out missing and they were supposedly found by the side of the road, and somebody saw them walking, and somebody, like, it's the sensation behind the case or whatever. A lot of people want to be a part of it, so they start thinking they've seen things or just having it. And then all the while the kids were buried under the house or in the backyard, or something happened in the home. And I'm not saying that it is the parents, you know what I mean? I'm just saying that oftentimes when things like this happen and there's this big mystery as to what happened to this child, and then you know what I mean, and then so many years later nobody's been caught, nobody is like, you know, a lot of times there's some real shady stuff in the house. So
But here's the thing now, it's 20 years later and
Right.
they found DNA of these people on her backpack or something, hair on her backpack.
Right.
Or her backpack was found taped up in garbage bags. So, and then some of the items in the backpack, they're saying they can't confirm if it belonged to, I think her name is Asha, right?
Right.
Asha.
Right.
That they can't confirm it belonged to her. So maybe someone used the backpack. I don't know. But I know that during the 911 call, Dad did mention that the backpack and her pocketbook were missing. I don't know, when I think my daughter's missing, that's not the first thing I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna be like, oh, her book bag is gone too. Like I don't know.
But see, at the
but if
same
you're thinking
time,
she ran away, you might look for the backpack. So, like, if you're thinking
Yeah.
she ran away, that's the only thing that would save them in that respect. Because if I thought my child ran away, I'm gonna first look, like, did she pack up anything? Like, what did she put it in? Oh, you know what I mean? Like, that might be, you know, why he might have said that.
because they now they have a you know, I mean, I'm with you on that first part, but then the turnaround to it is that they have this guy named Roy Deadman, and they have his wife, and for some reason now they are suspects. And like you said, with the DNA and all of this different stuff, and they found the green car behind a home in the backyard. So somebody's theory of the case was that she was on that highway walking, and a car, they're saying maybe that green car hit her. And when it hit her, it killed her. And somebody is trying to cover up for that. That was one of the other theories that was in.
I think that somebody was, I think another person probably was in the home. I'm thinking that maybe they let somebody in, or, you know, that was supposed to be helpful or something like that. I feel like there was another person that was let into the house.
And, you know, not that I'm trying to, again, we're only talking about what we read. Also, the father usually comes from his second job at 12:30 at night. The mother usually is sleeping at the time, or she'll get up one time or he'll check the kids, and then he'll go to sleep. So the father had made a statement that said that he checked, the last time he checked the kid's room was at 2:30 a.m. and he went to sleep. But it's
Isn't that the time they said she was missing?
I think the
Or
time
last-
they're saying in between 2:30 and
30 and 6:30, they made the 911 call.
Right. So but it's still hard to believe that a child 9 years old would brave the rain like that.
Well, I have a story. Remember, like over 20 years ago, like we had the blackout in New York City. It was like maybe 24 years, 22 years ago, whatever, in New York City. And I was living in Queens at that time. My son, who is he had to be 4 or 5 years old, was sleeping around the corner. Well, actually, it was my son and my daughter was sleeping around the corner at a friend's house because it was a blackout and everybody like threw a little party or whatever. Like, you know, the kids had a little thing, whatever. So they're sleeping out. And so we are all outside because it's hot as hell outside. So we're outside on the porch barbecuing, and the kids all, you know, around the corner. And all of a sudden it's like pitch black outside. And we hear this rustling through these like bushes and stuff. And I'm like, what the heck? Like we're all just sitting on the porch, like, what the heck is that? Well, you know what? My son is walked from around the corner, like at 4 or 5 years old, climbed out of their window, right? And came back home, and he was rustling through, like he just walking like it was nothing, and we all stood there in disbelief, like, what the, like, why would this kid walk out? And then the crazy thing is, the next morning, the people whose house he was staying at never even called us to tell us my son isn't there anymore. Like, he was home at that point, but But like it was like things like these kids, man, if there's a will, there's a way. Like it was too hot for him over there and he wanted to come home to his parents. Like, I don't know. But it was a
Oh,
good
wait.
thing we were all outside because otherwise I don't know where my son would have been.
Where he would have been. Okay, I got a story to back off of that. My uncle, who recently passed away, he told the story when he was 4 years old. So my mom and him grew up by Yankee Stadium. Whoever's familiar with the Bronx, Walton Avenue was like right there. And so they lived there, and I forgot what happened. I think he had gotten in trouble for something, and he left the house and went to get on the D train's right there. He went to get on the D train to go to my great grandmother's house, which is his grandmother, because his mom, he got in trouble with her. So he was upset. He packed 4 years old. He packed a bag. He left the house and went to the train station. Because he was going to his great grand. That's what he told the cops. They found him in there. I'm like, where's he going? He said, oh, I'm going to my nana's house. So like you said, this kid, he was upset. His mother hit him. He got in trouble. I'm going to my grandmother's house. It ain't matter. He got on a train. I'm like, I can't. That story is just mind blowing. So I don't know. It's very possible. And like that was, I mean, not that that was really back then, but things were different when she was 9. Though like the world was in the early
24 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, the world was
But
very
she
different.
also
So
shared a room with her brother, which I don't know. He
There's
said he
missing
didn't hear nothing
information.
but rustling, like
Something
rustling in the bed, and that was really it. But I don't know. It's so strange.
Yeah,
Yeah,
at one
wait,
point I
how
thought
did-
that the brother might have something to do with it, but I mean,
How
I
much
don't know. I just feel
older
like
or
maybe
what's
there's
their age gap?
I believe he was somewhere around 10 or 11 or something.
Not too much gap. Something ain't adding.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I can only think that, sometimes, because I mean, I'm just thinking of a case. There was a cold case that I know of where the girl was stolen out of her house, and it was because they said there was no forced entry or anything like that, but that's because they had the windows open, like they weren't like locked or anything like that. So he was just able to just slide it up and just go in and and just take the child out, and they were like, no, there was no forced entry. There was nothing, because he just closed the door, closed everything back up. And, so I think that maybe, it could have been somebody. I mean, the thing is that they said that they saw her walking. So that's the only thing that I'm just like, but
right. 2 witnesses.
how can you, but I'm just saying accounts from some odd years ago, is it going to be that exact? I don't know. So there's just so much convoluted because it's such an old, it's such a
Exactly. And then again, it was a storm with no lights, and like, well, the lights were, I guess they came back at 2:30 or something like that. But if you're driving on the side of the road, how much can you really see on a 9-year-old girl to confirm it's her?
And plus, like, it's raining, so that takes away evidence. Anybody that watches crime scenes know that it takes away, it takes away all the evidence that could possibly be there. So
walking and you just let them walk in the rain,
right?
That's what, like, I saw a child walking on 9 years old in the rain, in the dark, in the pitch blackness, but I didn't bother to stop to see. Like, the baby, and then they said that they left and then came back, and then the baby had, like, the little girl had like disappeared into the the woods or whatever, the side of the road. Like, you didn't think to, like, I'm not passing a little kid in pitch blackness and not going like, are you okay? Do you need a ride home? Like, what? Like, I mean, that would definitely shake me, like, to see a little child, and but I don't know. Like you said, it was like so many years ago. Maybe these people, I don't know. Like, I know, I can't even imagine it being 20 years ago and it being a different time and still not having that same first initial thought. Like, that 9-year-old child is walking in the pitch blackness on the side of the road. Like,
exactly.
Exactly.
British supermodel Naomi Campbell has been barred from being a charity trustee in England and Wales for 5 years. The Charity Commission unveiled the news on Thursday as Campbell was in Paris. The decision follows a 3-year investigation into the financial activities of charity Fashion for Relief.
I've just found out today about the findings, and I'm extremely concerned, and we are investigating on our side. As I was not in control of my charity, I put the control in the hands of a legal lawyer, and so we are investigating to find out what and how, as everything I do and every penny I ever raise goes towards charities.
The British regulator found that only 8.5% of the charity's overall expenditure went on charitable grants in a 6-year period from 2016.
So supposedly, the funds were instead used to pay for Campbell's spa treatments, room services charges, and hotel rooms. And again, Naomi Campbell denies that, that she knew anything about it. It was set up in her name, she said. What do you guys feel about that?
Set up in her name and she benefited from it, but she knew nothing about it.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay. I mean,
I can.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, anything that I hear in the news that's negative about Naomi Campbell, I just believe it. Like, I just be like, I believe it. She's so toxic. Like, you never hear nothing nice about this lady. Like, she's always petty. She's always toxic. Like, so I'm just gonna, like, by default, she's guilty. I don't like.
I say that she's definitely a mean girl. Naomi, she's definitely a mean girl. I do feel, because it was like, oh, she's misappropriating funds. I feel that from what I've learned about her, that she's very much about herself. So I feel that if there was some extra that she felt she could pull away from it, she would, instead of doing certain things. I just see that because she's treated staff poorly. She's treated other models poorly. So I can see her feeling like nobody's going to see this, and we've seen it across, unfortunately, Mayor Adams is going through something similar, like people are doing things that they feel that is not going to be seen because they're in a position of power or they're around people that are yes people. So I just feel like she definitely has something to do with it, but I do feel that there were other people that were a part of it and just cooperated with her with what she was doing. Because I mean, she probably was handing in the receipts and stuff like that, and people, instead of saying no, we shouldn't do this or anything like that, she probably threatened to fire them, of course, and then do what she does. But I do think that she may have. I do feel that it would be part of her personality from what we've read and what she's assumed.
What is going on with the scamming? What I'm saying is why are these people trying to pass off? You're involved with a scam. You ain't involved in no business where you have to really go out there and put your feet on the ground, and you're scamming, you're cheating.
I think it's just the norm, Blake. Like, I think that's just what this is, and it's just starting to get caught now. I think
that's exactly what I was saying.
Going on behind the scenes, and now people are starting to make a big issue. Now we have social media, and people are saying, you know what? I heard blah blah blah, and now that people are looking into things, and this is how everybody's getting caught. Eric Adams been doing this since 2014, right? They knew what that man was doing, and so they let it go. You know why? Because they probably were gonna let it go. But now that it's gotten to he's a mayor and now he's a public figure, like, and everybody knows he is, and he's making him so problematic out there by the little stupid things that he's doing, like the recycling campaign, all that. Like, okay, so let's praise you because you're giving people garbage pails. Like, what?
I mean, not too long ago, we was talking about Safari and how he was supposedly, quote unquote, trying to set up a charity. This type of nonsense has got to stop. If this is a normal situation going on with industry type individuals, it really needs to stop.
Oh, for sure.
Because they feel they have people that are backing them. I mean, we can bring up a bunch of people. I can bring up Dr. Umar. How long has he been having this school and taking funds, to build his
Oh
school
God,
that has
thank
never
you.
been, done. So I think that they know that they're beloved, and they take advantage of those people that are loving on them, because they're like, if you're willing to be scammed, then you should, like the regular scammers. They're like, if you're able to be scammed over the phone, I'm telling you, money was taken out of your account and you believe it, then you should have been scammed. I should have got you. I think people are having that kind of lack of humanity.
Yeah, it's like Captain Cheeto. He needs all of these people to donate to him for his legal funds, but he's a bazillionaire. So I don't get it. Why does this man who's a billionaire need all of these regular schmegular people to donate, minimum of $21 so that for his legal funds? It's like if you're willing to be scammed, you'll be scammed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're that willful, then it is what it is.
Yeah, people, we got to get smarter out here, people. We got to get smarter.
100%.
Definitely.
The state of Louisiana will be hosting the 2025 NFL Super Bowl. But controversy around the Super Bowl 2025 went crazy recently when the announcement came that Kendrick Lamar will be performing the NFL halftime show, and the New Orleans native Lil Wayne will not be. When the news dropped, some of Cash Money and Young Money's associates took to social media to criticize Jay-Z, saying that it was a shot at the labels because of an old 20-year beef between Jay-Z and Lil Wayne. Gurus, should Lil Wayne have been chosen to perform at the 2025 NFL halftime show?
Is it because of the buzz with Kendrick and stuff now? What? I don't know what makes them choose people when they do. I'm like, it don't have nothing to do with where he's from, right? I don't know.
No, it doesn't have anything to do with where anybody is from.
Yeah, no shade. Lil Wayne got hit, but he not buzzing right now.
Yeah,
that's the whole thing. I'm
Kendrick
thinking
is
that
the
they
hottest
chose him
Yeah, come on.
because he's hot right now. Yeah, I think but the thing is, though, Lil Wayne has such
a good
his
catalog.
collection. His catalog. I thank you for the word. 'Cause I was I'm like his discography. What do I use? What's the word I'm supposed to use?
What do I say? Right.
Yes, his catalog is extensive. So it's like what he could have came up with the halftime show is bananas, because he could have came from something from the 90s, from the early 2000s, and just mix it up so we can have that nostalgia. Because I love Lil Wayne back in the day,
He got
Fireman, all that stuff. That was my time, So I mean, I get Kendrick Lamar has the buzz and everything like that, especially with his beef and everything like that. Made Not Like Us the hit for 2024. I think most people have made a reel and have used that song, so I get it. But overall, it's just that Lil Wayne hasn't had that stage, and I really feel like he should, as long as he's sober. Okay, as long as he's sober, he should have the stage. But if he's sipping, then you need to sit down. But as long as he's sober, I feel like he can do it.
Exactly.
I think that it would be dope if Kendrick Lamar gets out there and just brings Lil Wayne out.
Yeah.
Then that would be crazy, and it would be dope. And it wouldn't be beyond Kendrick Lamar to do something like that.
Right.
So I feel like all this controversy is gonna stir up a whole lot of viewership for as if they need help, because every year they But I just think that Kendrick, first of all, Cash Money is what are they doing right now? So they're gonna stir up stuff to get the people talking. Nicki started with her stuff too. Yeah, I mean. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, it's not like this is months. This is when is this? Months and months and months and months down the line. Anything can happen between now and then, and Kendrick Lamar could bring Lil Wayne out, and it could be a big shock for everybody. And if that happens, remember, you heard it here first from me.
But I'm just saying, but to add on to that, I do feel that, because I think somebody else went on record to say it, that Jay-Z does get final say. So I mean, as far as that, we just have to acknowledge that he does have final say. Like,
well, at the end of the day, he's a businessman, so he's gonna do what's
he's a smart businessman.
All right, everybody, it's been a good show. For everybody out there, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hey, Gurus, this is the Lady Guru Show, and we are out of here.
Where my girls